Okay, let's talk about building a brain, a central brain for your entire organization. One that knows everything your company knows. Sounds like sci-fi, right? Well, today we're going to break down the architecture of exactly that. Amazon Q Business.
So let's just kick things off with a huge question. Just imagine for a second. What if your sales team, your HR department, your ops managers, what if they could instantly tap into every single document, every database, every conversation your company has ever had? What would that even unlock?
Gut. And this is the big but. Here's the catch. You need all that access, yeah? But it has to be with absolute ironclad security. We're talking zero compromises. And this is the central challenge for any enterprise AI, right? It's this constant balancing act between powerful access and perfect control.
All right, so let's get into it. We're going to peel back the layers here and see exactly how this enterprise brain is put together, piece by piece. And we're going to start with the most fundamental part, how it actually connects to the world.
Okay, first up, the digital nervous system. Think about it. A brain is totally useless if it can't sense anything, right? For an AI like this, sensing means connecting to your data. So this is square one for Amazon Q. It starts by building out this massive network to pull in all that company knowledge.
And it does this at a serious scale. We're talking over 40 pre-built connectors right out of the box. Now, the key thing to get here is that this is a huge shift from how we used to think about knowledge management. This isn't about some painful, long migration project to move all your data. Nope. It's about plugging directly and securely into the systems you're already using every single day.
And look, what's so cool about this is that we're not talking about connectors for some obscure random systems. No way. These are the big five, the places where your team's work actually happens. You've got your raw data in S3, your customer info in Salesforce, project tickets in Jira, and yeah, even those informal chats and decisions buried in Slack and Teams. It's designed to tap into the complete picture.
And this is really important. It's not a one-and-done snapshot. The knowledge base has to stay fresh, right? So you can actually schedule these connectors to sync up, say, hourly or daily. This makes sure the AI is giving you answers based on a report that was uploaded 10 minutes ago, not something from 6 months back. It's all about that near real-time knowledge.
Okay, so we've connected the data. Now for what is, honestly, the most critical piece for any business: security. Once you've plugged into all that data, how in the world do you make sure the right people see the right things and only the right things? Well, Q has this built-in security guard, and believe me, it is always on duty.
The magic behind this is a technology called Identity-Aware RAG. Now, that stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. Yeah, it's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but the concept is incredibly powerful. All it means is that before the AI generates an answer, it first retrieves only the information that you, specifically, are allowed to see. See? Security isn't an afterthought, it comes first.
And this slide just nails the difference. Think about a standard AI. If you upload a sensitive payroll file, that's a massive security risk, right? Anyone could just ask about salaries. But with the Q solution, it's totally different. The AI checks your permissions against the original file's access list. The bottom line is this: if you couldn't open that file in SharePoint to begin with, you're not getting answers from it in Q. Simple as that.
So here's how it actually works in practice, step by step. A user asks a question. Instantly, Q checks their identity, through your company's single sign-on. Then, as it's searching for the answer, it just silently ignores any file, any page, any database entry that the user isn't allowed to see. And this is the key part. It doesn't come back and say access denied. It acts as if that forbidden data doesn't even exist for you. It's completely invisible.
Okay, time for a little pop quiz. Let's put this to the test with a real-world scenario. Imagine you're an architect. You've got all these HR policy docs sitting in S3. But some of them have super sensitive executive compensation data that's only for senior managers. So how do you set up Q to handle a situation like that?
And the correct answer is B. Here's why, and this is the absolute key insight. You don't have to go and create a bunch of complex new rules inside of Q. You just rely on the native permissions you've already set up. You tell the S3 connector to respect the existing access control lists, the ACLs, which are just the who can see what rules for your files, and Q automatically handles the rest. It's designed to work with your existing security, not replace it.
All right, so we have a super knowledgeable AI, and it's super secure. Great. But this is where things get really interesting, because it builds into way more than just a simple chat box. This next part is all about turning those conversations into powerful, reusable tools for your entire team.
So check this out. Imagine you have this amazing chat with Q, and it helps you draft the perfect client proposal. Now, instead of just, copying and pasting that prompt into a text file somewhere, you just click one button, Create App. Just like that, Q turns that whole conversation into a simple tool that anyone on your team can use. Then you just publish it to a company-wide app library.
This is an absolute game changer for efficiency. Seriously. It means your best ideas don't just stay siloed with one person anymore. They become shared, reusable assets for everyone. Just think about it for a sec. A senior engineer creates a little app to help debug a common problem. Boom. Now every junior engineer has that expertise at their fingertips. Your top salesperson builds an app for handling tough objections. Instantly, the whole team gets a boost. You're basically taking your team's expertise, bottling it up, and sharing it with everyone.
Okay, last but definitely not least, let's talk about governance. Because with any powerful tool, you absolutely need guardrails, right? I like to think of them as the bumper rails at a bowling alley. They just make sure the AI always stays on brand, stays on topic, and, acts professionally.
So administrators get this really powerful dashboard with a few different layers of control. For example, you've got topic filtering, which lets you completely block subjects that are off limits, like, say, a retail bot shouldn't be giving out medical advice. Then you have global controls to set a consistent tone or personality, like always be concise and professional. And on top of that, there are automatic content filters that can find and redact sensitive PII, like social security numbers, before a response ever even gets shown to a user. So let's tie this all together. Amazon Q Business basically builds that digital nervous system to connect all your data. It acts as that unbreachable security guard to protect it. It empowers your team to turn simple conversations into powerful apps. And it gives you those all-important bumper rails to keep everything on track. Which really just leads us to one final big question. Your company's collective knowledge, it's your single greatest asset, so is it ready for a brain?